Hey everyone, Kyle Mike here from MLive.com, joined by Justin Rogers. The final preseason game is finally upon us, Justin. I know we're all kind of sick of these games that don't mean anything. The fourth preseason game probably means even less than the games we've already seen. Most starters, or many starters anyway, you're not going to see. No Kelvin, probably no Stafford, or if you see them, just for a series or two. This game's going to be a lot about end of the roster types or guys who are on that bubble fighting for their jobs. What position group or what players are you looking at going into this game?
Hasn't changed. Still looking at them receivers.
Yeah.
Some fat's been trimmed there. Ryan Broyles requested his release.
You calling Ryan Broyles fat?
I am not. Andrew Peacock gone. Vernon Johnson gone. There's a lot less receivers there, but that competition remains as open as ever. Mm-hmm. I think we both believe Lance Moore and Corey Fuller are on this roster, but what their roles are still to be determined. And then the fifth job, I imagine it's still tying in a little bit to the return duties. I still have no clarity. I don't know if I'll get it after this fourth preseason game of who's going to win that job.
Yeah, I think Eric Ebron ends up being this team's third best pass catcher. So I'm not sure how much this discussion is relevant when it comes to the. It's definitely relevant, but I'm not sure how big of an impact it'll have on the overall offense when it comes to that third spot. Because
Theo Riddick might even be ahead of the third receiver.
Maybe
he caught 38 balls in 2/3 of a season last year. So
I expect the third spot to get more production this year with theoretically with Ross Nett out there. I think Corey Fuller's a better player. Lance Moore is also there, and he's been productive in this offense in the past and has been a real productive player. I think one of those two guys gets the third job. But yeah, those fourth and fifth jobs are. There's T.J. Jones, there's Jeremy Ross in the discussion, maybe Greg Salas. I still think Ross's candidacy depends on kick return, and I think if he doesn't win that job over Amir Abdullah, he's gone. If he does win it and he's on the 53-man roster, that means he's your starting kick returner, because I don't think he makes this team without that role.
And I think T.J. Jones might be out as well. He only played 7 snaps last game. I don't think it's the team doesn't like him. I think they do like him. I think at this point they're trying to sneak him onto the practice squad. They don't want to give other teams film. They haven't shown much of him all offseason, and they should be able to sneak him onto the practice squad. Not a lot of guys are going to be claimed league-wide.
Yeah, I'm looking at as many fans are. I'm looking at the running backs and Zach Zenner. I don't think Drake Bell's going to play much in this game, and I don't think you're going to see too much of Amir Abdullah. He's getting kind of the veteran treatment at this point. Mm-hmm. 5 carries in the past 2 games combined.
Yeah,
the Lions are. That speaks to me. It speaks to how much the Lions have faith in this guy. That hey, he's a rookie, but we've already seen enough. We know he can play. Let's just get him right for the regular season. So I don't think you'll see much from those guys, which leaves it up to Riddick and Zenner and George Wynn. No more Des Martin. He got cut this week. So those 3 guys are going to carry the entire load for the Lions. And so, I think the Lions will still want to get. I think Zenner's spot at this point is safe. I think he's shown enough. He's leading the league in rushing. So I think if they were to release him, someone's picking him up, and the Lions don't want to lose him. So I think his spot is, barring injury, his spot is safe. But I think you'll also see a lot of him in this game as the Lions try to get him some more work and some more comfort going forward, and maybe get a better idea of what exactly they have before the real games start. You don't necessarily get your fourth tailback a lot of reps.
I think I've made this point before, but I find it interesting. I believe Drake Bell led the preseason in rushing maybe twice. And in a lot of ways, their stories are similar, being very highly productive college backs, undrafted. Looks like Zenner's going to get his shot at an NFL roster earlier than Bell. What are you saying? What, 30 carries, 300 yards? Sound about right? At this rate, he's only getting better. There's no slowing this guy down, apparently.
I will be watching Kellen Moore, because it might be the last time we see Kellen Moore.
Maybe, yeah, no.
I think the Lions still value his presence on the 53. I'm just not sure with injuries if that's going to be a luxury they can afford this time around. I do believe the Lions' plan coming into the year was they were going to keep Moore either as a number 2 or as a number 3. They gave him more guaranteed money than Orlovsky. They gave him a lot of second-team reps throughout the offseason, oftentimes giving him reps ahead of Orlovsky in that battle. But he has not performed well. So he's definitely the number 3 at this point, without question. I think he came in late in the fourth quarter last week. That to me just speaks to where he is on the depth chart. And with the injury to Alex Carter, they might have to keep 10 defensive backs. Karan Reed's battling injury. Warford is. So there's injuries popping up around the place. And if the Lions have to go an extra man deep on those positions, they have to trim somewhere else, and that could happen at quarterback.
And defensive line, especially after last week's performance. Very little pass rush pressure. There's still guys down there that are fighting, maybe not for jobs, or some guys like Philip Hunt, who is still fighting for a job, or Gabe Wright, who's trying to determine how much of a role he's going to have in this offense. They're going to be going against mostly second and third teamers. You're only going to be able to glean so much from that, but they do need maybe to establish some kind of good tape or momentum going into the regular season after a pretty abysmal performance against Jacksonville.
That's what we got. One last round, one more test run, and then finally it's game week next week. Weird thing to say. For Destin Riders, I'm Kyle Meinke. We are MLive. Keep it right here.